Hey Brenden, this is Adrian Gomez. Thanks for sending these in. I appreciate you guys and looking forward to finding the things that we need to change as far as weakness goes. You do a really good job of squatting into that back leg. So what we were talking about earlier about the back leg being an issue as far as balance, you do that very, very well. You squat well. Just trying to get into this, you're probably down to probably 90 degrees into the back leg. So that's not an issue. Where the next one, internally rotated front knee, and what happens is this knee is inside, so internally inside. And your back hip can't rotate until this knee is cleared. So it takes about 20 degrees for you to clear that knee for your back hip to come through. So that's a huge issue that if you fix it, now there's two ways you can fix it. Either you can move your knee more this way and get it straighter faster, or you can move your foot this way and help your knee to be a little bit straighter. It doesn't matter, but we just need to make sure that those set up pretty well. And once you do that, you're going to be able to push and drive into that front leg harder, and velocity will go up. So that's a huge issue. Positive issue. I mean, I think that's something that you can fix. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking walking wind-ups, walking torques, marshals, walking marshals, box drill 1, box drill 2. Those are drills that I would use to help fix that front knee. So you have good extension with your hips right now, so that's not an issue, but stepping straighter towards that target and getting that knee on line at a quicker rate is going to help you increase your velocity. Your length, I think you could step probably an extra 6 or so inches, and that's going to bring it up to 110 degrees. I want 110 or more. And that's going to help a ton. So that's definitely a double angle at foot strike. That's definitely an issue a little bit. It's not crazy, but it could be better. So that's basically the lower half. So now we're going to get into posture. In your posture, at ball release is close to a B. So a B posture. Let's see. Let's put these between your eyes. Okay. And there's a little bit of a disconnect. It's not crazy, but I want to make sure that your posture, your head, stays back just a little bit further so that you don't have to move your head and change your spine posture a ton so you can increase your ability to rotate. I don't think it's a huge issue, but look into that posture at ball release, that you're going to lock in your posture. You're going to have to move your chest back a little bit, back to that line. That's going to help you increase velocity, but also it's going to minimize your head change, and that's what happens. It's called axis. So the world rotates around an axis. Same with your upper body when you throw. So we want to minimize the axis change, and that's going to increase your rotational power. All right, so that is I would change that. Release point's pretty good. I think it's fine. One thing I'm noticing right now is the back leg is not on the ground. So when the back leg's not on the ground, you can't push. And if you can't push, then your release point's not as far as it should be. So power to the back leg is something that you can look at as far as weakness goes. You should be driving off the ground and continuing to push into release point. And so also box drill 1 and 2 has a lot to do with getting your back leg and keeping it on the ground and pushing with your hips. So you are missing some velocity with that back leg, and yeah, that's a good revelation right there. All right. So release point. Next one, we're going to look at stacking, and this is something that you squat well with your back leg, but I want your upper body to stay back a little bit longer. So I want your back shoulder down as far as I can. I don't want you hunched over this way, but I want your upper body back in this position. Basically, what I try to picture when I'm throwing a ball, I'm trying to keep my head behind the rubber for a longer period of time. And if you can do that, you're going to be able to push for a longer period of time with your back leg. Right now, your upper body's heading down, and the reason why your back leg's coming off is because your upper body's not back. So if you can stack and stay back longer, you're going to be able to push for a longer period of time, which will increase your velocity and you'll be able to throw. Right here, you can see this arm, and it's really far in. I want to see it right around 90. What happens is your bicep gets really, really active, and it's tight. And so by the time you rotate through, your arm comes, you can see it stays in and then it flops out side of that elbow. And that's what's really causing that arm fly out. We'll get into that, but I'm just seeing it now. So stacking, definitely an issue with your upper body. Let's look at your front glove. So front glove can improve. Right now you go from bent to straight to bent. So when I'm bending, straightening, and bending, if I can take the straightening out with your front glove and I can just keep it bent, you can pinch that shoulder blade earlier and start your rotation earlier. So I think definitely that front glove, there's quite a few drills to fix that. From your knees, there's quite a few. You can also increase or help your front glove from putting a 1 pound or a 2 pound in your front glove, or you can even put a heavier rock in your front glove, and that's going to force you to really support that shoulder blade and rotate. So front glove is definitely an issue. I want to keep that more bent and then use my shoulder blades to rotate through. So awesome. All right, what else? Front glove. All right, let's look at okay, we're going to get into the shoulder. I'm going to measure from shoulder to shoulder and up to the elbow. I think there's what we call a high elbow. And what happens is, as you're throwing, your elbows has to come up to come through because your upper body's going down. If you can fix that with the stack, and you can stack better back in here, your elbow is going to stay down longer, which will reduce the the high elbow. So right now you do have a high elbow, 166, so you're about 14 degrees too high. And that plays into arm care and arm health. So I want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Over the long run, I think that's going to help you. We're going to get into chest extension, which I think you do a good job of. See here. So measure off your back hip and up to your shoulder. You have 46 degrees. Let me see if I can get this straighter. 49 degrees. Look at that. Okay, so you have a great chest extension. That's something that a lot of kids do not have, and I think that's probably why you throw pretty well. But we put all those weaknesses together, and all of a sudden it's easier for you to throw. All right, chest extension. The last thing I have for you is what we call an arm flyout, and we'll get back to what I looked at earlier. Remember when I talked to you about your bicep being really tight, and this angle is really small? We need it to be a little bit right around 90. So I don't have a huge overactive bicep, and what that'll do is not right here, your arms laying back right here. All of a sudden it pops out, goes outside the elbow. And I want to reduce that to somewhere in here. Reducing. We're not going to turn you into a robot, but we want to reduce that arm fly out, which is what you do have. I noticed that earlier. That's going to help you. Instead of the ball going outside the elbow this way, it's going to start going forward. So anytime you have an energy that goes away from your target, that's energy that's being lost and therefore not in the baseball. So I want my energy to go forward. If I'm not going forward, I'm not getting the power. I'm losing power. I'm losing power towards my target. So hand fly out. So go ahead and go through this. Take notes. Write those down. All the weaknesses that I'm talking about should correlate with the weaknesses online. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys. I appreciate you guys sending this in, and I hope this helps. Thanks. Bye.